Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. It is February 17th, 2026. I am finally back in the game, dude. Today's I know a lot of people come to the channel and I've had like hateful commenters sometimes here and there, just saying like, am I just wasting my time coming on here? Are you gonna like tell me any conspiracies or am I just wasting my time hearing about your personal life? If you didn't know, you clicked on a podcast, meaning it's a podcast. I don't do short form content. It's kind of like talk radio. I grew up on talk radio and I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to like comedy conspiracy podcasts, because a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, but also because when I listen to a podcast, I'm wanting to get to know the host. And if I like the host, I subscribe and I keep listening to that said podcast, like Tinfoil Hat or Last Podcast on the Left, I gotta like you and keep listening. And I don't know if it's just an attention span thing or if it's just whatever it is, but for some reason, some people will unsubscribe or come in my comment section like, I don't want to hear about your personal life. Then why are you tuning into a podcast? I'm not going to sit over here like, fucking, not Ben Shapiro, but like NPR or something like today in Baghdad, blah, 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 blah. I don't want that, man. So I've been gone for January, February, about 2 months. I put out an episode the other day because I had to like come out of hiding and talk about the Epstein files. Which, by the way, as far as like a little kind of like inside baseball update for the channel, I ain't gonna lie, dude, that's probably, now that I'm back in the game, that's probably what we're gonna be focusing on quite a bit, is the Epstein files. I may try to throw in like a fun episode here and there, whenever I start feeling the darkness set in, because you guys know me. I have two podcasts, Blue Pill Podcast and Conspiracy Corner, and you've got to Blue Pill every now and then, so that's just a little update. So if on this channel, we're probably going to be focusing on the Epstein files like for a while, just Jeffrey Epstein and all that shit in general, because my main focus as far as like conspiracies, and my main objective on this channel, well, I wouldn't say objective, but my main focus for as far as subject matter is child trafficking. I think it is the most important thing like ever on the face of the planet. Like, child trafficking to me is like the most important thing we should all be focusing on, which blows my mind, dude. As a consumer of like conspiracy podcasts and shit, like it boggles my mind that there are literally people in comment sections of like other people, like other conspiracy like podcast channels or conspiracy content creators, because I listen to a lot of different people, and I'll be in the comment section and there's like people who are like, these Jeffrey Epstein files are a distraction. And I'm thinking in my head, like, you don't think that cannibal pedophile elites are the most important conspiracy out there? Like, what is more important than saving trafficked children who are literally being raped, tortured, and eaten? Like, to me, that's like priority number one. We should be focusing on that. I don't give a fuck about war. I don't give a fuck about economy. I don't give a fuck about aliens. Like, I don't give a fuck about any of the AI. Like, to me, I do give a fuck about all that shit, but like, priority number one is the kids. So like, when I see comments of like, these Epstein files are a distraction, it's like, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, you're either an idiot or you're just like a chomo, like one of them, or you're just literally soulless. How do you think that there is anything more important than like the children? Sorry, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe my morals are off, but to me, that's the most important fucking thing. So, hang on. Where have I been? A lot of you guys know that I had been working at Clark's Pump and Shop, and I had kind of went into it before of the gig was going downhill. All the co-workers were cool except one. I had issues with like one chick. It's this black chick, like, because I have like a lot of like physical and mental issues. Like, I have a tic, you know, I twitch, I chatter my teeth, you know. You guys have noticed it. I get a lot of hateful comments. This guy's on meth, this guy's on crack, you know, which it does hurt my feelings, because it's like, it's something that I can't control. Like, I've had a tic since I was a kid, you know, and it bothers me. I usually just delete the comment, but I've brought it up before, because it's like, just because you have a tic of something you literally can't control, like, you get made fun of, like, so I guess I was smoking crack and meth as a kid, you know, like, really, dude? It just pisses me off that, like, everyone cares about all these other disabilities that people have. Like, if I seen someone in a wheelchair, I wouldn't just walk past them and be like, they're faking it. Or we take care of the autistic or Down syndrome, but, like, you know, someone who has a tic, everyone just assumes you're on crack or meth, you know. It's like, fuck you. What was it? Oh, but this black chick that I was working at Clark's, like, she would like make fun of me because I've had multiple head injuries and shit. So like, I don't know, like, if I didn't get something done or catch on like in 2 seconds, she would call me drunk, or I'm on drugs, or you smoke Rin, or why are you twitching? What's wrong with your eyes? Hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, I have a tic. And I called her out one day. She called me out across the store. What are you doing with your eye? What's going on, Abe? I said, I have a tic, dude. And like, my boss and like everyone else was like, how did you not notice he has a tic? Like, they jumped her ass. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. She's like, oh, I didn't know. And it's like, yeah, stop being a fucking jerk. But she was the only one I really had beef with. Besides that, like, the store itself, the work was good. It wasn't easy. It was hard work, because we were short-staffed. The work was good. I liked all the co-workers, but I was having trouble, like, and it wasn't just me, it was everyone in the fucking store was having trouble with this guy. His name was either Zach or Nick, I can't remember, because my memory's not the best. I used to do a lot of drugs. I'm a little bit of a burnout. But this motherfucker was writing everyone up. Like, I'm talking like 2 or 3 write-ups in like a day. Like, I had like 3 write-ups already, which is like fireable at most places. But like, they were chopping heads. Like, they literally told my store manager that she had like 2 weeks to clean up her act, or she would be fired. Mary, the black chick who was making fun of me, her ass was about to get fired because of call-ins, because of health issues, and it was just like everyone was like walking on eggshells, and I don't know, it's the weirdest thing, because it was like, It was a gas station slash restaurant. And by restaurant, it's like chicken cook, like chicken restaurant. And it's family owned. And I don't know, it just, like, I'm obviously not an entrepreneur or something. I'm not like a Rothschild or Rockefeller, but like, I'm pretty good with fucking money. You know what I mean? And I can't understand, as someone who's like really good with money, like, what's the play? Like you're like destroying your own family business. Like, you're gonna what? Like, get rid of the entire staff? Which is what they do, because my wife, who works at Casey's, a different company, she worked with a guy who worked at Clark's and Casey's. And so she was getting inside info, and it was a different Clark's. Same family, different location. And he's like, dude, they fired the entire staff, like kitchen staff, in one fell swoop. Like, these people are cutthroat. So like, I had already had like 2 or 3 write-ups under my belt, and I had started job hunting once they started writing me up. I got 1 write-up, and I'm like, I'm cool with that. But once I got 2 more, like within like a month span, I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So I had already started job hunting with some promising gigs that were hiring, and it didn't fall through. Which, by the way, side note, I have a whole new respect for unemployed people. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was real quick draw McGraw, ready to shots fired on people who were unemployed. I would just automatically be like, he's a grown-ass man and he's out of work, he's a bum, you know. Dude, the job market fucking blows. So the only reason I got the job at Clark's was I had my foot in the door of a buddy who worked with me at Kroger. Which, by the way, I'm at my current place of employment, which is Kroger. I'm back at Kroger. We'll get into that in a second. I know a lot of people in the comment section are like, oh no, he's back to the hellhole. Let me explain some shit. So, yeah, I have a whole new fucking respect for unemployed people. Last time I was unemployed, it took me 3 months to get a gig. This time I got a gig within 3 months. And the only 2 times, like this current job that I'm working now and my previous job, the only reason I got them was because I got my fucking foot in the door. You know? I mean, it's just, it was so fucking aggravating leaving. Oh, the reason I left Clark's, though, I personally just left, man. I'd had enough. My brain broke. And I have MDD. I'm off my meds because I don't have health insurance. And I ain't gonna lie, towards the end, like, I do really good on alcohol when life is going great. And this is not an excuse, but when life is going great, or not even great, it just has to be tolerable and good. But when life is miserable and horrible, I start drinking, man. I start hitting that fucking bottle, dude. And you guys know me. I've been open about my alcoholism the whole time this podcast has been around, you know, for years. Not as long as I've been a content creator. Like, I kept that shit on the DL for as long as I could. But, so, and it's not an excuse. It's just, it's like, when life turns to shit, I just start drinking, man. So that was part of it. And I quit because I already knew that eventually I was going to get fired. Everyone's head was on a chopping block. The Clark family, they fucking blow. They had completely, in one fell swoop, I told you, took out kitchen staff of another location. Like, they are cutthroat. They don't give a fuck. And I was getting written up for the craziest shit. Like, they literally, I have no problem. Everywhere you work, most everywhere you work, you're gonna be on camera. I have no problem with that. There's no paranoia. But when someone is watching like a fucking hawk, I have never worked for a company who watches their employees like this fucking closely, who is micromanaging to the point of like, you go like this and not even think about it and like put gloves on and then mess with food. They'll be like, he didn't wash his hands before he put the gloves. Stupid shit like that. And I'm like, dude, this is insanity. Like we're cooking food. We're not doing brain surgery over here. Like, so anyways, I figured the best thing for me to do was to quit before I got fired, because if you get fired, that looks worse on a job. Well, not resume, but your resume. It looks worse on your resume if you get fired. So I just quit. I had enough money in the bank. I think I was sitting at like 12 G's, and I was like, okay, I got enough money that I can just quit and job hunt. And Sammy works, you know. And luckily we're sharing a house with me, Sammy, and her mother-in-law. So I don't really have to, I mean, I kind of have to pay rent. We all split the bills, but the house is paid for, the trailer and shit. So I was like, I'm able to like job hunt and get a good fucking gig. So I quit there. And I had opportunities like, there was a car salesman opportunity where I could have been making like $800 a week, but I ain't gonna lie, dude. I know nothing about fucking cars. The only thing I know about cars is like, I've done little things like change like spark plugs, or fucking change a tire, like fill my fluids, change a battery. I changed I changed a starter on a 91 Grand Marquis one time. Just little shit. I'm able to do that type of little shit. But I mean, as far as like I like going to car shows. Like me and Sammy during the summer, we like going to like car shows, because I love classic cars. I love, like, my favorite car on the face of the earth is 57 Chevy. If I'm ever like a millionaire or something, I'm getting a fucking 57 Chevy black with silver trim, big ass thick white walls. Yeah, it'll be gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you the horsepower. I can't tell you if it's like a straight six, or, you know what I mean? And like, I will literally walk away if there's like a bunch of dudes. Like I'll see a classic car in the parking lot and there'll be a bunch of guys around it, and I just go up and I'm like, damn, that car's beautiful, you know? I'm able to admire the fine things of like the body shape, the interior, whatever. But like, as far as like super technical shit, I'm fucking dumb. So I'm like, I could have got a gig like literally the next day as a car salesman making bank, but I don't know, man. I knew that I wouldn't be able to do that job. Like, I don't know. And to me, it would have been too much. As weird as it sounds, I just want like a simple life of like, now that I'm back at Kroger doing night shift stocking again, I just want simplicity. And this is honestly a good gig for me, because it's just like, it's very simple of like, hey, I get to listen to my podcast all day at work, and all I got to do is just open a box and put the shit on the shelf. I know it sounds bad, but like, and the thing is, it's monkey work. A monkey could do it, but I enjoy simple work. Just give me my fucking money, and then I want to go home and then explore and expand my mind, whether it be through information of reading articles or reading books, or learning what's going on, looking through documents, looking through Epstein files, reporting, doing talk radio to podcasting like I have been. This is what makes me happy right here. I don't want to be rich. I just want to make it. I want to live comfortably, you know? I know most people are like, I want to get rich. I want to get rich. I'm not that type of dude. I just want to live comfortably, you know, and go to sleep without having to worry about, am I going to lose my house? Am I going to lose, is the electric going to get turned off, you know? So I'd had that gig already lined up that I could have did. I turned it down because I told Sammy, I'm like, dude, I can't do it. I know it's bank, but I can't. It's just, I'm not good at math. I'm horrible with computers, and I'm a good salesman, but like when I was a salesman, I was selling at Beaumont Inn for 8 years. I was selling high dollar whiskey as a bartender. I would literally talk, and I felt bad sometimes, man. I would talk like these fucking average Joes into buying like $100 shots of whiskey, Pappy Van Winkle 23 year and shit. Like I have a silver tongue like the devil, you know. So I know I'm a good salesman, but I knew what I was selling, you know. And it took about a year to learn it, but like, I don't know. I just was like, yeah, I don't think I could do it, man. Because even the guy that was trying to hook me up, he's like, bro, you got a silver tongue. I'm like, yeah, I was a salesman at a 5-star restaurant selling high-end whiskey shots, you know? Well, whiskey neats, you know? We had to use that word, not shot, neat. You know, it was high dollar, high class, Illuminati. And then, dude, this is the thing about like job hunting. So I would go on Indeed.com and fill out like 10 apps. And then the very next day, I'd get like 2 phone calls. First, and it happened multiple times. I'm talking like 5 or 6 times during my 2 or 3 months unemployed. Of like, I would get a call from a shitty company first where they're like, oh, we'll only pay you $12 an hour, 3 days a week, which something is better than nothing. And I'd be like, yeah, I'll do the interview tomorrow, you know, like set up an interview. And then I kid you not, I'd go back to bed, and then I'd get a call like 2 hours later, and it'd be like, hey, this is so-and-so, you know, you applied for this gig, it's $16 an hour, it's full-time, do you want to do an interview next week? So I would go, yeah. And then I would turn down the interview that I could have had for the better one. And then I'd go to the better one and I'd go up there and they'd be like, we're not hiring. Like, it would be something like that. Or they would do the interview and be like, we'll give you a call in a week. And then they call me in a week and be like, that's where a lot of that unemployment time happens, is like, rush to wait. And you get like, you get so happy and you're like, dude, I got this gig, man. It's coming up. I just got to wait a week. They'll call me back. We'll set up another interview, blah, blah, blah. Everyone is given the runaround, dude. Like, this happened like 6 or 7 times last year when I was unemployed. And then this happened like 6 or 7 times this year. Well, you see what I'm saying? Like, it fucking blows, dude. The job market is horrible. So, I had a buddy who I worked with here at Kroger the first time. I put in 4 years. 2 years ago, I put in 4 years of work here at Kroger. And I had already told the story. You can look it up in the older episodes. But I had a manager come in on his day off, drunk as a skunk, yelling and cussing everyone out. And I don't put up with that shit. I just left. And it was multiple things. Like, I would have 6 or 7 aisles for myself. And there's Jason, the guy I interviewed. I kid you not. There's fucking Jason. I'll be damned. Sorry. The actor, the one. Go check that interview out. Kentucky's a small town, dude. Or small world. I hope he didn't see me because I'm in the middle of podcasting. Anyways. So, what was I saying? Oh, it was just a toxic environment. I would have 6 or 7 aisles. There'd be people who had like 1 or 2 aisles. It was just upsetting because it's like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, And then like I had a manager who was just being a horrible manager. I'm not gonna rehash all of this, but anyways, like it was super fucking toxic. And there was like 5 or 6 things that like every night I was going home to my wife and bitching about the same 5 or 6 things every single fucking night. And this went on for like a year. And I was just getting more miserable and more miserable and more miserable. And my mental health was going downhill. I was drinking more. Struggling with alcohol because life was fucking miserable. So after the manager had come in and cussed me out and all this shit, he cussed everyone out. Me and another dude walked out the same fucking night and just never came back. That's when I went to Clark's. So after I left Clark's because of its toxic workplace, I had a buddy who was a coworker here at Kroger. His brother had literally something tapped me on the shoulder. I believe in God. By the way, there was a commenter who was in my comment section the other day who was like, "You, sir, are an atheist." I'm like, you must be new here because, like, I believe in God. I just don't believe in the Christian God. And I'm anti-religion for the most part. Most religions, like 95% of religions, I despise. There's like a couple out there, like spiritualism's pretty cool. There's a couple religions that I'm kind of like, okay, that one's kind of cool. I might convert to that maybe one day. Shopping around. But yeah, most religion I despise. But yeah, they called me an atheist. I'm like, no, I'm not a fucking atheist. I said way back in the day, because I've been a content creator like for over a decade. I said way back in the day, like 10 years ago, I used to be an agnostic. But something tapped me on the shoulder. God tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, you need to call your buddy Vadim. He used to be a podcaster. I can't remember. It used to be 90s Guy Babble, and then he changed the name to something else. But if it's, type in 90s Guy Babble, you should be able to find it. Go sub to him. Shout outs to 90s Guy Babble. But, what was I saying? I called him and we were just having a normal conversation. And then he said, Abe, I gotta go. And I said, what's going on? He said, my brother just hung himself. I said, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, nope. My mom walked in. He's already dead. He's been dead for a while. I said, damn. So immediately I called like 2 of my coworkers who had worked with him back in the day. Because Vadim had left Kroger like years ago. And I let them know. So my buddy Jacob called Vadim and talked to him. And then he called me back and he's like, dude, Vadim's not doing too hot. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, he didn't sound right in the head. I'm like, probably not, you know. His brother just hung himself. So we were just kind of catching up, me and my buddy Jake, and he's like, so what are you doing with your life? And I was like, well, I just left Clark's, where I was at, the gas station. This is what was going on. I was like, so I'm looking for a job. And he's like, do you want me to see if I can get you on here again? And I'm like, okay. So yeah, like basically me and him, we had a little bit of like, because we love each other and because we're friends, we had a little bit of a tiff here and there, like that same day, because he was pissed that I had left. But I mean, I've gotten to the point, I just don't put up with like crazy shit of a drunk manager coming in screaming at the top of his lungs, like cussing me and shit. It's just like, dude, I'll go home. Like and I planned on coming back, but then I got a call from him like, dude, don't come back. If you come back, they're just gonna fire you. So it's like, what's the point? You know? So, because I had just taken a day off and I was like gonna come back. I was like, let me just take one day off and I'll come back. And they're like, he's like, yeah, you're welcome back. And then he's like, bro, I overheard they're gonna fucking fire you if you come back. So I didn't come back. But anyways, last night was my first day back at Kroger. All all those 5 or 6 problems that where I was miserable from a year ago when I had left, they're all fixed. And I kept praying, and I kept doing that voodoo that I do so well, that all the people who were being evil and toxic and dark against me would get their just desserts, and they did. And literally, I kid you not, every single problem that was driving me nuts for an entire year are all fucking solved. So I'm back at work. I'm happy. I'm making more money now, $15.67 an hour, when before I was making $14.50 an hour. So, and I'm making more definitely than what I was making at Clark's. At Clark's, I was only making $12.50 an hour. Now I'm making $15.67, 40 hours a week. I'm stoked. So, anyways, I hope I wasn't too long-winded. I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on with my life and shit. I did go through 2 detoxes, which are fucking horrible. Literally, I had a bed sheet that literally, I don't know if you've ever detoxed, but it is like hell on earth, dude. Like the stink that comes out of you, the sweat, you're pouring sweat, you're shaking, nightmares. I'm doing better, and I'm back to work, and the podcast is back on the fucking road. But I hope you guys keep tuning in. Hey, and if you would like to donate any money, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up in the link below. Now that I'm back in the game, I don't mind asking again, because there will be episodes that I'm going to be putting out quite frequently. I'm switching from night shift from where I was working at Clark's. I was working night shift, and then where I was unemployed, I got used to day shift sleeping. So now I'm going back to 3rd shift sleeping. Let me get all my ducks in a row. Is there going to be an episode every single day like there used to be? Probably not within the next couple weeks, but now that I'm back on the road, I don't mind asking for donations if you want. You don't have to. I'm not begging. But if you do want to support the channel, link below. Buy me a coffee. I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe, and y'all have a good day.